Hey guys, it's Marshall Ting with your Prairie Stockyards Market Minute for today, May the 1st of 2025. So we have brought in May in a fierce way. It just came in roaring like a lion. And if I told you we had an outstanding day here at the Stockyards Day, it would be an understatement. 2015 head of cattle marketed for the day. And this market is making leaps and bounds. And we'll talk about these prices here in a second. But just to give you an idea, your lightweight steers sharply higher. You had 275-pound steer cattle at 510, three-weight steers at 505. Move on up to your middleweight cattle, 5 to 700-pound steer cattle. We're going to call those $3 to $6 higher there. We had six-weight steers bring 380. Really good trade. Now, your yearling cattle, we're going to call those sharply higher as well. Now, move to your heifers, $2 to $6 higher there. Some instances sharply higher. We had six-weight heifer cattle at 340 and lightweight heifer cattle even higher than that. Again, your yearling trade quite nicely. We're gaining some more ground on your weigh cows. We're going to call those $4 to $5 higher. Your weigh bulls, $2 to $3 higher, and we're back in the 225 business on your top selling weigh bulls. But let's talk about these little lightweight steers. Again, your 275-pound steer cattle, we're going to call those 510 as a high. Your three-weight steers, 505 as a high. Your four-weight steers, $4 to $450. They topped off at $487, which is inching closer and closer to that $5 mark. They're on your 400-pound steer cattle. Your five-weight steers, call those $350 to $385. They topped off at $404.50. They were heavier than that. Last week we had 500-pound steers at $4. These weighed 529 at 404.5. So we gained some big dollars there, and you can see how this market's jumping. Now your six-weight steers, ready for this? Six-weight steers, 315 to 352 as a whole. They topped off at 380. Let's do the math on these guys. Had about 10 of these steers. Black steers weighed 647. They brought $380 a hundred. That came to $2,460.50 on the head. That is an astronomical trade. They actually sold higher than the seven-weight big brothers right behind them. Beat them about $60 there, 50 to 60 bucks. So it is a really good trade on those six weights. Now let's talk about your seven weights. 270 to 293. They topped off at 333, and we had some eight-weight steers top off at 294, which is getting right close to a $3 eight-weight. So that's always great there. Now talk about these little light heifers. Your little 275-pound, 250, 275-pound heifer cattle, $470. Again, getting right close to $5 on a little lightweight heifer. Now your 300-pound heifer cattle, they topped off at $420. Your four-weight heifer cattle, $351 to $392. They topped off at $423. Your five-weight heifer cattle, call them $310 to $320. They topped off at $365. Move on up here to your six-weight heifer cattle, $272 to $313. They topped off at $340. And it wasn't but about 2 weeks ago we sold some six-weight heifers at $325 and thought the world was on fire. Now we're about $15 higher in a matter of 2 weeks. $340 on some six-weight heifers. Really good trade. Now, here's a really shocking number, too. Makes me really excited. Here's some seven-weight heifer cattle, guys. Your seven-weight heifer cattle, they topped off at $285. That steer price on a seven-weight heifer, and your eight-weight heifers, not to forget about those, they topped off at $263. But about your weigh cow market, it's a little bit higher as well. $1.84 your top selling weigh cow, $225 your top selling bull. Now, as far as your bred cows are concerned, had a lighter test on those, but the quality and the prices were there nonetheless. $2,600 your top selling bred cow, $3,050 your top selling cow-calf pair. But check out these groups, guys. Here's 34 head of black steers weighed 529 at $404.50. About $5, $4.50 to $5 higher than what it was this time last week, plus the weight gain as well. 26 head of about 85% black steers weighed 611 at $375. Again, we had those other six-weight steer cattle at $380, so this thing's making some pretty big jumps as well. Move to your seven-weight cattle. 74 head of black steers weighed $733 on the average at $333. Move to your heavy sevens. 25 head of black steers, about 60% black steers, $797 at $3 smooth. And then your eight weights, 62 head of about 70% black, the balance Charolais, $812 on the average at $290.50. But check out your heifers, guys. 59 head of pretty much black heifers weighed 550 pounds on the average at $335.50. Then here's a really good number. 130 head of these guys, about two loads, about 70% blacks. The balance Charolais crosses, $798 at $283.25. That's tier price on two loads of heifers, guys. And then 38 head of these big Charolais crosses and crossbred heifer cattle, $828 on the average at $263 flat. So as you can see, we are gaining big time ground by the week, by the day. This market is looking very optimistic. So on behalf of myself and everyone at Prairie Stockyards, we just want to say thank you for your business. We truly are farmers doing business with the farmers. And if there's anything we can do to help your livestock marketing needs, we sure would love to help you out. Have a great Derby Day. See you next Thursday.